Welcome to the Horror Zeitgeist podcast. This episode, we delve into 3D VHS, Winnie the Pooh the sequel, Death by VHS, Witter Entertainment suitable flesh tape, Glenn Danzig's newly released film, Death Riders in the House of Vampires, and much, much more. Now, with no further ado, your host H.J. Valentine.
And welcome to the very first and, who knows, maybe last episode of the Horror Zeitgeist podcast. Just something I kind of created recently because I felt like there was just a little bit of a element of where I thought maybe me and my co-host, which you will meet in just a second, can provide for you guys. We hear a lot of podcasts and they talk a lot about everything horror. No, you don't. You don't buy enough product. You don't support enough local artists. You're not artists yourselves. The list goes on. Anyway, again, this is the Horror Zeitgeist podcast, meaning we're going to cover everything in the Zeitgeist. I am your host, H.J. Valentine. I am also accompanied by the greatest, most amazing male girl outside of Darcy, obviously, but we have the amazing Gulia.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, back to you, lady. So, anyway, our whole point with this show basically is that we want to have comedic, open, fun conversations about what's going on in the horror community, what we know, what we're into. Again, Gulia and I are big fans of VHS. So we're going to stop you right now. If you don't like VHS,
stop listening.
Stop listening. Sorry. And the fact of like we have this whole new wave of all these VHSs that are dropping and all these people that are making them, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry. It's just, to me, and I know I'm speaking for Gulia, it's just one of the coolest things that's happened in this whole revamp of old movies coming back and people appreciating them all over again. The streaming platform, I have to say, it does what it does. It works, yada, yada, yada. But the end of the world comes. I mean, hopefully I have a little bit of power because I still got to run the goddamn VCR. But at least if the internet goes out, I still have the old trusty VHS. So anyway, also, I am a toy photographer. I've been a toy photographer on Instagram. I go by traumatic_exposure. You may not know who I am on there, but I've been doing photography. And if you're watching this, obviously on YouTube, you can see this is not Robert Englund, obviously. This is a stylized work I do. So I work with other artists. I buy their sculpts. I buy other figures, I do custom swaps, yada, yada, yada. But again, that's why we say that we want to talk about everything horror. A lot of people miss out on some of these action figures and posters and VHSs. I feel like, do you agree with me? Who's talking about VHS right now?
Nobody.
We're going to.
We're
definitely gonna. We're going to talk about it tonight on this month. Well, I don't know. For all we know, it could be super daylight where you are. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so again, just trying to give you guys our version of what we think is horror and cool things that are coming out. We want to talk about something that I purchased today, and we will show it to you on the screen right now. And basically, it's a company that is doing these. They're called 3D VHSs. And I saw them originally on Big Bad Toy Store. And the ones that I saw were Friday the 13th 3, It, and I want to say there was one other one, but then they also do ones where they're bookshelf ones. And I saw they had Gremlins and they had Chucky, and I think one other one. Hopefully, if I get a chance, I can show you guys on the screne there. And essentially what they are is they're little tiny window pieces that are, McFarlane. Remember McFarlane did these back in the day?
Way back in the day.
So he did Nightmare on Elm Street. So he took that original cover and he basically made it where you could see the, individual pieces because it's a 3D print. So he's got embossed layers that accentuated Nancy and the glove and the knives and everything like that, and put it in kind of like a little cool shadow box, and he did a couple other ones. He did the Geiger one. H.R. Geiger killed it on those covers, though. I mean, anyway, so this is basically, if you missed out on those, which I did, and I know Gulia obviously did too. So those are all worth a lot now. And these aren't really, they're not bigger. They're, like I said, they're more stylized in a VHS set. And then the other ones basically all look like they're shooting through the books. Also, the weird thing about it is when I got it, it gave you basically a free Fandango rental. So
where did you pick this up?
I actually got this at Walmart. I had it on my order in Big Bad Toy Store. They sold out like twice, but I ordered it like way back in the day. It was like 100 years ago. No, it hasn't been around that long, but I had to go get my tire went flat on Saturday. So I was like, I gotta go get a tire. I don't know why I'm not Italian. I don't know why I'm using that voice, but we're going with it. I got to get a new tire. So I went to Walmart, obviously, and I was like, oh, shit, these are already out already. So I'm literally sitting there in Walmart being like, cancel this motherfucker right here, because we all know I love Big Bad Toy Store. I don't want to talk shit. Big Bad Toy Store, you want to sponsor us? I'll stop talking shit about you. I promise. But for now, holy shit, bro. I don't know if you've got the most stoned ass fucking crew working those fucking pedals back there, but it's like, whenever we get it in, we'll ship it to you. It'd be like all the stores have it, the online eBay, but you're going to be paying more because they're like, we only charge you $4 for shipping. So you just chill.
You just wait.
You just wait. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It's only $4 shipping. You don't give a fuck when it gets shipped. That's
You're
why
gonna get it.
That's why they do that pile of loot, because it's like, oh, you want to wait even longer on that figure? We got you, bro. We got you. We will set that motherfucker in a box forever. 3 years later, ooh, we're gonna ship you that pile of loot. But it's like, then you don't have anything for 3 years. Like, I never understood that pile of loot. That was where you were supposed to say that you don't like pile of loot too.
I don't loot that pile.
I was like, I already know you don't like the pile of loot.
No, I need my toys now.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even really order much from Big Bad, do you?
Not really, just a couple of times.
I mean, you got to give it to them though. I mean, they are huge. They have everything. They have posters. They have figures. They have everything, but they ain't got VHS though. So
that's where they're messing up.
I mean, they're messing up in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
Like I said, they're just forget about it. You don't need that toy already. Let all the other guys work out all those other fucking shots, and then you're gonna be that guy like 6 months later. It took you that long.
But I wanted to review this toy.
Right, fuck that. You better be fucking sucking the CEO's dick at fucking Big Bad Toy Store. You're trying to review a fucking figure. You may be, if
Good
you live
luck.
close to them, maybe that's the only chance you got, because you're like, oh, I live down the street from Big Bad Toy Store. But like me, I'm like a couple towns away, and that motherfucker still like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I've seen 100 other people post this thing. I could have bought it off eBay for like $10 more, but you know how we are. We're stubborn asses. We're like, ooh, $10. Ugh, how bad do I want it? It's so much cheaper. Always. And that's the thing. Like, I still get suckered by it all the time too, because there's this Vampira figure, not Elvira. If you guys didn't know, Vampira came before Elvira. I know that's hard to believe. A lot of people actually haven't seen the movie Ed Wood. It's surprising. For a Tim Burton movie, nobody has seen that movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Nobody talks about this movie. Ed Wood is a classic. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Ed Wood is basically a real director from back in the day. He made the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space. And shit, this was even in X-Files. I mean, Mulder talked about Plan 9 from outer fucking space. If you don't know, Ed was the kind of guy that just, he didn't really care about the details. He'd keep moving on. He didn't do retakes. He always came up with some scheme. But again, it's a fucking Johnny Depp movie with Bill Murray and a slew of fucking people. And it's one of the only movies that actually has Vampira in it, because Vampira is in the movie. And Ed Wood was basically Bela Lugosi's nursemaid for the past couple years of his life. Sidecar too. I used to fucking love that. For anybody that's actually seen this movie, back in the day, Howard Stern used to take those excerpts, and this always, you know what I'm talking about, like, Boris Karloff is a cocksucker, and all those, like, bullshit. All of those Bella. So what I'm saying is, if there was these scenes in the movie, Ed Wood, where the Bela Lugosi character was on drugs, he was a drug addict, he was dying, he was pissed off about Boris Karloff because it's all grunting and makeup and, you know, beautiful fucking performance. But Howard was taking those clips and like calling people with those who had the name Carla. You know what I mean? He'd find somebody with that last name and use those. Somebody must have had like a button they could just like knew exactly which phrase to say basically from that movie, though. Fucking absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you can find any of those Howard Stern clips. You're going to have to trust me. It was fucking hilarious. But yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
It's really funny.
Hello?
Karloff?
Can I help you?
Certainly. Karloff?
You want Carl?
Certainly.
Well, Carl's not home right now. He's at work. Would you like to leave a message?
That limey cocksucker can rot in hell for all I care.
Excuse me?
Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit.
Who the hell do you think you are? Hello?
How dare that asshole bring up Karloff? Bullshit.
I'll
You
show
think
you
it takes
bullshit.
talent to play Frankenstein?
Excuse me?
You think it takes talent to play Frankenstein?
Frankenstein?
It's all makeup and grunting.
Listen, you got
Karloff
some
does
nerve.
not deserve to smell my
You
shit.
got some nerve disturbing people like this.
Fuck
You know
you.
what the hell? You know
Fuck
what?
you.
You know what?
Fuck
you need
you.
to get a job.
Fuck
Get
you.
Get a job,
Fuck
man.
you.
Earn a living.
Fuck you.
This is America.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm telling Carl.
Is that what you wanted?
Ed Wood, it still begins to be one of those movies that I'm like, really? Nobody's seen fucking Ed Wood? It's a good movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, it's not Beetlejuice, obviously. It's not fucking... It's definitely a Mars Attacks, though. As much as I love Mars Attack, it's like, that's a movie. It's got a lot of people in it. Yeah, CG's holding out real well, huh? Yeah. No, it does not. Anyway, so one of the things that we wanted to also talk about, again, oh, shocker, VHS, damn. But we're still talking about new movies. So I don't know if you are like me. I was in the theater in 2007 and couldn't be any more excited to watch Grindhouse. Did you see this in theaters?
No, I did not.
You didn't see this in theaters?
No.
It was the only movie, and mind you, she can see all the Snooty McBooty premieres and all that shit because she lives in France. Yeah, wink, wink. I live in a trailer park up in fucking Hoboken, so I can't go to any of these premieres. I can't see any new movies or anything. I still haven't seen Lloyd Kaufman's new movie because he's only going to go to big cities with that thing. And I get it. But Thanksgiving, such a fucking awesome movie. You agree, right?
Definitely.
I mean, Eli Roth showed up. And the reason I was talking about Grindhouse, though, is in 2007, he had that trailer. And I absolutely, it was one of those kind of things where I want to talk to you about that. Was that a disappointment in some way to you? Because that original trailer was so grindhousey. Were you really hoping that movie was going to be more grindhousey?
No, I was fine with the way it came out.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
but you would have preferred it to have been more of an 80s movie, though.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And that's the whole thing is like, I've seen interviews where Eli's talking about it and he's basically like, you know, this should have been something that came out then and we should be making the remake of it now. And that kind of makes sense more too, you know.
Remake the remake.
We'll get into that. But yeah, so our buddy over at fucking Death by VHS has made an absolutely smashing edition of it. The cover, I believe, is done by him. It is not any of the covers, and it just gives you that 80s and that grindhouse look and feel. You guys can find him on Instagram. He does have his own webpage. Super professional, super cool guy. He's got a lot of other titles, Midsommar, Megan. Not all the movies that I want. I don't want every movie on VHS, as Ghoulia doesn't either, but had to have Thanksgiving. Love the cover. Have you watched yours yet?
Yeah, I have.
How fucking dope is those intros that he does too?
It's super cool.
Super cool. And he actually even does a couple of them where he's controlling everything. He's using some of his footage. He's using horror movie footage and graphics, and he can spin it.
Halloween, prepare to embark on a spine-chilling journey into the depths of terror and fear. Welcome to Death's Halloween Gulag, the ultimate VHS experience that will haunt your nightmares. Experience the eerie ambience of All Hallows Eve like never before. But that's not all. Death's Halloween Gulag comes packed with over 2 hours of spine-tingling Halloween ambience and features 20 classic horror movie scenes that will transport you to the darkest corners of cinematic horror history. Don't miss your chance to own Death's Halloween Gulag on VHS, the ultimate collector's item for horror enthusiasts. Just in time for Halloween night.
The guy is fucking
Truly original.
True original. I mean, you don't get a lot of that with these companies that do VHS. Some of them can create their own kind of logos and intros. Obviously, they're catered to do it more 80s style, which I like, but I have to say the quality of everything on this edition was like stunning. You know, I love retro release videos. I also want to talk about Whittier Entertainment, who is also doing a Suitable Flesh VHS, which is Joe Lynch's new movie. You guys definitely have to check that out. It's finally on Shudder, because we all know your ass wasn't going to fucking rent it on Amazon or go to the theater to see it. But if it's already on fucking streaming, that's when we can already start talking about it. So that's the other thing I hate too, is like, you guys also have to realize that I get it. Like, we get it. Bootlegging movies, it's fucking easy. It's so fucking easy. But I get it if you want to initially watch the movie to make sure you like it. But that's kind of the concept with the VHS too, is that, you know, you're supporting artists and you're supporting companies. You know, some of these are actually licensed, and you're helping every single aspect of it. And it's like, even if you like, I put my VHSs on my wall, so they're almost like a poster, you will. And some people even like just having the sides, you know, viewed. As a horror community, we love to project these things. You know, a lot of us like coming home. I mean, my house, I only live with cats, so I have no children. So I have my entire house just like a fucking museum for horror, basically. I just shut it down. I like everything. I like comedy, old movies, all that shit. But aesthetically, horror is gorgeous. I mean, blood splatter, violence, cool. It also deters terrible people from your house. If anybody comes over and it's like, okay, I gotta go. Bye. Door's right there. See you later. You've seen this debauchery of a house that I have.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely. I mean, like I said, I come home every day. It calms my cats. I don't know if it calms the cats, but they're just chill as it is. But it calms me. I don't know, something about it. It just gives me that sense of peace, enjoyment.
It's
so anyway,
soothing.
It's soothing to me, at least. But yeah, I display my VHSs. I display my stuff. I I want to come home and be surrounded by these icons. And actually, earlier I was trying to get my camera to work so you guys could see a portion of my house, but that didn't work out so well because I'm old now and I don't know how to podcast anymore, and all these new inventions are just making me feel like a goddamn fucking paraplegic. So I don't know why I use paraplegic, but you know what I mean. I feel like an old stinky bastard. And you're old too, so don't even try that shit. Mrs. Julia Gulia.
Julia Gulia here.
You entered into a good family, a stemic. So one thing we really want to talk about, and I know this is going to be a controversial, crazy topic, but both of us, and I know you're probably going to hate us for this, but we both absolutely love Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was done so bad and good. I think for me, it was one of those movies where it was like, it had that old school, just simple movie. You know, we grew up on those movies from the 80s. The 90s was even fucking worse with that concept of cheesy, but still relatively fun at the same time. I mean, you watch horror movies because you don't want to have an over complex story and outline, but you got girls naked, you've got Winnie and fucking Piglet and fucking they're murdering eel. I mean, I wish they would have showed it, but I mean, even those
they kind of did.
But I mean, even those animated bits, like that's how the original used to look like too. So they paid homage to that, which is great. But the cinematography in that movie was fucking amazing. I saw it in the theaters. I was lucky enough to 2 towns over had it, and me and some friends went to go see it, and I fucking just had a really good time because it took me out of my everyday random fucking bullshit. You know, it was cute British people dying in front of me, and I didn't care about any of them. And I just wanted Winnie to win. And guess what? I got
He
that.
did. Yeah.
He did. He even said, he talked a little bit in this one. But what we did, and you know what? This is like one of those things where I get it. I've seen so many, and I think that's the dumbest concept to have a top 10 list of shitting on movies, because so many people put that on their top 10 because, again, they didn't see any other shitty movies. That was the one shitty movie. They're like, okay, well, I'll check this out. I'm like, bitch, do you watch Tubi? Like, some of the absolutely worst films of all time
are on there.
And they're original ones too. So you got the CEO being like, I'm going to give you $75 to make that movie, you know? And that's great. That's great that these people have that avenue. But to say Winnie the Pooh with a $500,000 budget, which was technically the same budget they had on Terrifier. But again, you have to know Damien Leone, he does all that work. He's paying himself basically, and he ended up paying himself in the long run. But you got to think, if he would have actually had to have somebody do all those special effects, just as Peter Jackson used to back in the day, that's how Peter was able to do his Bad Taste and all those. He was the one to do it. You know, he was like, well, I'll fucking do it myself. I'll fucking strap my brain in and fucking make all this shit. He was, but he was like, there's even the Bad Taste, you know, behind the scenes where he's like, you see the mom, he's like, he'd come over and have beans and toast, and he'd be using my oven to cook all these masks in. I didn't ask him many questions. I'm like, yeah, mom, you cook that beans and toast and let him fucking cook, make them fucking masks.
Very nice bunch of boys. Yes. Really very nice. It used to give me a lot of pleasure when they all trooped home here, and we just had baked beans on toast. It was always, Peter said to me one day, Mum, get some baked beans in. We'd always eat baked beans on toast. So I found myself buying a crate of baked beans.
The oven, and I managed to get it so that it could just squeeze in with about half an inch to spare, which is why he's got quite a flat top on his head.
have a menu planned for the meal that night, you know, using the oven, and quite often we'd have to end up by having sausages or something under the grill because he'd want the oven for his baking. He used the oven a lot, and the whole kitchen actually used to take over to make his molds.
Fantastic movie. You can't shit on that movie. But anyway, what we did though is by everyone seeing that movie, even if you fucking hated it, you put the money into that for that motherfucker to make $5 million. Now they have the budget to have made $1 million movie. And you can fucking say and shit on it all you goddamn want. But that fucking trailer looks amazing. The scenes look amazing. And I am fucking nipples fucking hard, ready to fucking go.
I'm ready for it.
I'm ready to sink my teeth in this whole franchise. And that's the other thing, is they have this cinematic universe. They're already filming the Bambi horror movie right now. They're already showing photos, and somebody is sketching some of these photos that are coming out. And I don't know if Ghoulie, if you saw, I don't know if I shared them with you, the Pinocchio photos and the Peter Pan photos.
No, I haven't seen those.
You got to check those out. Hopefully, if I understand how to add shit onto this, I will show you guys. But basically, they want this connected universe because there's all those licenses that have become available. So yeah, they want to do, they're doing the Bambi one, which is the Bambi horror movie. Then, like I said,
Steamboat Willie.
Well, that's a whole different company. We can talk about that too in a second, but that company hasn't, because I don't know if they didn't care about that. They were just more focused on their side, and I guess they kind of knew that enough people, and enough. There's 4 trailers and the video game already based on that. Did you see the Unreal Engine trailer for that yet?
No.
So Unreal Engine is a platform they use for video games to make them look super stellar. And there's a trailer that just went on for one. He's on a steamboat, and it's all that Unreal Engine, and it looks fucking really good. But at the end, the reveal, the Mickey, you couldn't really see much, but it looked weird. He kind of looked too tall. But again, who knows how long this is going to take to come out. There's obviously the Mickey's Mousetrap that will come out first. And then there's a video game where that character's in there. And then the people that did the Mean one, which was Damien Leon's, the people who produced Terrifier, they're doing a steamboat one where he's actually on a goddamn steamboat. So I don't know. I love it. Like, I want all of it because I'm so bored. I don't want to see Jennifer Lopez fucking date some stupid British guy. I get it. That was a movie made in New York that came out 1 billion years ago, but they still make crap like that. Okay.
Let us have this crap.
Let us have this crap. I want all of this crap. I will slurp this crap up with a fucking spoon, straw, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just something different. And like, I don't get it why people just can't shut their brains off and enjoy it for what it is. And I feel bad for you. I mean, I don't want to shit on you. I don't want to tell you you're wrong. I hate that concept. It's like, because then they want me to watch Made in Manhattan, and I'm like, bar.
No, pass.
I don't want that. So I respect that. I got to start. I don't have to, but I'm trying to respect, other people and their ways of what they want to consume. Whatever. I'm over here watching trash, bro. I'm in no place to judge anybody's fucking idea of what a good movie is. I don't, but I will.
They just like a different type of trash.
Yeah. I mean, trash is trash. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm confused because Tubi's so big. And it's like, clearly there's a bunch of us out there. So we're just trash humpers? We just like collectively have to come up with a moniker for us. Like, this is us, whatever. But I'm sorry. If you don't think that the new footage for the Winnie the Pooh 2 looks cool, I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you. It looks fucking fire. I'm super excited. Super pretty excited. Unlike, okay, so did you watch Curb last night?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
It was funny. I enjoyed it.
It's different. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. They're, still on that concept. Sorry, we actually haven't had our own personal conversation
Yeah.
about Caribbean. Oh no, they're talking. I told you everything.
Everything.
Maybe somebody will die in the show, and then it'll be considered horror. I don't care, but yeah, Curb Your
love
Enthusiasm.
Larry.
Great. If you're not watching the Larry, I don't know what the fuck you're watching. You're watching Made in Manhattan again. I gotta stop talking about Made in Manhattan. Fuck, that movie sucks.
We're just warming up.
We're ending our lives in exposure to everybody else out there. But it is what it is, people. We appreciate if you're still hanging around with us. Speaking of more trash movies, Danzig's got a movie out.
Oh, yeah.
Very controversial, Mr. Danzig. I get that. His last movie, Veronica, was not heralded, as anything studious in the realms of cinema. I heard some stories too about him premiering this movie at a couple places, and they had some things to say about it too.
It didn't do too well.
I mean, they were talking. I guess he had another event where he was talking over some other people's movies, so there's that too. But this movie is called Death Rider in the House of Vampires, and it got finished as a film in 2001 and went to maybe, I guess, one film fest. It does star the amazing Devon Sawa, and yes, Devon Sawa from the Chucky show that's happening right now, and of course Final Destination and Hands with Idol. Idol's the hands. He stars in the movie. He plays the main dude. It is actually Julian Sands' last film. R.I.P. Fucking that motherfucker. He's like, I'm just gonna go for a hike really quick. I'm very talented in this field. I'll be all right. No, you died. Like, what? What did you do, bro? Like, why? Why did you have to do that? We liked you. You were cool. You were cool in this movie. Like, damn. Was it worth it for eagles and shit to be pecking your eyes out? Be like, well, we found him.
Munching.
He probably got coyoted, everything. They tore that fucking ass up. Poor bastard. Anyway, Eli Roth is also in the film. Danny Trejo, who's in everything. God damn, that guy was in the fucking Muppets. Like, I've never seen anybody like him and Snoop Dogg. Like, they just get all the work. Like, they're still like who they are. Now they're like actually good people. Back in the day, probably not so much. I think Trejo.
And he sells donuts now.
Well, he sells tacos too. He's
and
got
tacos.
that taco truck. There was that episode. He was even on the Muppets that last variety show that they had, where he went off against the Swedish Chef, which was awesome. Of course, he made tacos and guacamole and all that shit. Shocker! He's not going to be over there making risotto and shit. But yeah, Trejo's and everything. But the movie is, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. It was cheesy. It's a Western. It's a vampire movie. I don't know. And oddly enough, there is only a few movies, and Red State by Kevin Smith being one of them, there's no like soundtrack. There's songs in the movie, but
no actual soundtrack.
I mean, there is, but it's like, it's not completely guided by music. And I don't know. It's weird to say because, like, take the movie Tron Legacy, for instance. Like, that fucking soundtrack that the Chemical Brothers. No, was that the Chemical Brothers? No, that was Daft Punk. Sorry, I almost got the entire internet fucking. I should have done that though. That's how you get comments, though. You got to start talking trash about, or confusing people. And everybody's, no, I just want to rush to tell them that they got it wrong. It's not the Chemical Brothers. It's the Dust Brothers. Oh, no, they're the same people. Sorry, it's Daft Punk. Yes. Daft Punk soundtrack on Tron Legacy makes that movie. Everybody's like, it's a shitty movie. I'm like, but that music, though.
That music.
Like, yeah, that music was great. I mean, that was like when synthwave was really like making a comeback. You had Kung Fury and fucking Turbo Kid were all coming out and everything. And then here comes Tron Legacy. It was like, we got a big budget. Check that out. We got Daft Punk in the movie. We almost had the Chemical Brothers. We didn't need them, though.
We almost had them.
Almost had them, but we didn't need them. So, but this movie, it didn't, though. And I was cool with it. It still worked. That was the weird thing, was like, I don't know, but all I watched was that shitty cam. And so here's the story. I went on to the only podcast that I listen to, which is the Movie Crypt. I highly recommend that, which is Adam Green and Joe Lynch's show. They're well past 500 episodes now. They are two filmmakers, writers that have their own podcast, and they then get superstars, like Robert Englund and people from the industry. They do it every single week. They're killing it. They're always having, guests in there. So 2 weeks ago, I'm part of the Patreon, so I pay for that. I pay them. Yeah, you got to support out there sometimes, people. So I pay on their Patreon, and it allows me to be able to take part in the viewer mail and the Hollywood therapy. And so they had one for the actor Lee Ving, and Lee Ving was from Streets of Fire. He was Mr. Body in the Clue movie. He's also actually in Nightmares too. Lee Ving was the guest on that episode, and he's also in this movie, the Death Riders in the House of Vampires. And so I had written a comment to him, basically asking him, I was like, I know everybody's going to ask you about Clue and Streets of Rage and all these other movies. I want to know basically about Death Rider. And I'm sitting there writing this whole thing out, and some other guy re-commented on there because I had said the movie wasn't available anywhere. And I had just checked, because again, I've been searching for this movie since 2001. And I checked again, I guess 6 months ago, and nothing again, except for someone had posted on Reddit that there was a link to a cam copy that I then watched. It was hard to watch, but it was still the movie. And I'm still glad I watched it. And clearly when, so a guy commented on my post basically saying Cleopatra Records has it now. They're, they have VHS, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh shit, crazy. I go there right on the site. I sent the link to Gulia. We both ordered it the exact same time. And
or so you thought.
Or so I thought. Yeah. So my order didn't go through, I guess, right away. And hers did. And she was like, they said mine is shipping. And I'm like, dude, I haven't even gotten like a confirmation from them yet. They didn't charge me, so that was good. But then right then and there, I was like, look, it's clearly the payment didn't go through. I'm going to, hit the payment. So I hit the payment, paid everything. I paid with my PayPal. My PayPal obviously has my actual shipping address, which is a P.O. box, already on there. And instantly, we're talking on the phone, and I noticed that the email that they sent me, which was right away. So I was like, okay, I actually did order now. And I looked at the email, and it had the shipping address, and the shipping address was one off at the very end. And I was like, what the fuck? How that doesn't even exist. So she got hers, but then mine tried to get delivered, and then they basically sent it back. And I've tried to email them, and I didn't get anybody, but there's a storefront in LA. So I called the storefront, and they said they would help me. But just the fact that I got a fucking email says your figure was delivered to the original center. Like, hell yeah. That's what I do, people. I support like that. I'm like, I'm going to buy your shit. Just send it on back. I don't even need it. I just take the money. I saw that shitty cam. I feel bad. I feel so bad. Just take the movie. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve to see your fucking movie, Glenn Danzig. R.I.P. Oh no, not yet.
Not yet.
Nobody knows that yet. Leak. I still wish he would have been Wolverine back in the day, though. That would have been sweet. He'd been all short and had the
Yeah,
hair.
perfect.
He would have been perfect. But what's something that you hope they do? What is your like predicted? I want to see this movie or this TV show.
On what, like released on VHS?
No, I mean just existing in the zeitgeist.
I just want them to release dolls again. Dolls.
They do shit on dolls, man. So
Like, what's up with that? Like,
I don't
I
know.
need.
For anybody that doesn't know, Stuart Gordon made this stop motion classic called Dolls, and it's out. I mean, the VHSs are really hard to get a hold of. There is, I think, a DVD, but that's hella out of print, and it keeps cycling between like Amazon will get it for like a hot second and then drop it. I think it's on Tubi right now, actually.
It was.
So,
it was
what?
on there.
It still should be on the Tubing, on the Tubane. Great movie. The guy who plays Too Long is in there also, because I mean they were essentially Charles Band guys. So like Charles was really big on just use the same people.
The same castle.
I already bought this castle. Just keep shooting at this castle that I bought in fucking Nova Scotia. Fucking I don't know where the fuck that castle was, but that's what he did with that money. And did you see what he posted? He posted recently. Did you not see that post?
Who? Charles Band?
Charles Band, yeah.
What was it?
So he made a post basically saying that they want to launch this like new company that essentially is what it's called Pulp Noir. And he, you know, I was like excited. He was like, "Oh, we want to make more like darker, like serious movies." But then
with long intros.
What's that?
With long intros.
The longest, like this an hour and 15-minute movie. Yeah, but the fucking intros are 20 minutes long. Intro and outros are 20 minutes long of Charles Band's like reoccurring psychedelic bullshit. But he was basically saying that they want to do 10 fucking movies this year, and they all want to shoot like a month in between each other. And he basically was like, he's now found a new way to do the Roger Corman. So back in the day, if you don't know, the concept is that like if you created the movie poster, that's what you went in with. You didn't come into the fucking the studios with a script by any means. You came in there with a fucking movie poster, and you're like, look at this, look at the stars, look at the monster. You know, it's like I can tell the script just by the way it looks. You know, and then the money man would be like, yes, now put my daughter in there. I'm like, oh shit. That's also, you'll see that in Ed Wood if you actually see Ed Wood. Anyway, so I believe Charles has found his new way of being able to do that on the super cheap. So he basically had 10 different movie titles. I don't remember half of them. One was CG Werewolf, because they had recently done CG Gator, and he even claims in there, and people loved that.
Did they?
I mean, they bought it, I guess. I did see these nerd guys. I don't want to say nerd guys because I'm a nerd guy. But there's these guys on YouTube that they critique CG by anybody. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. They'll break it down. They know how to do CG. They'll tell you what's going on. Basically, I can't think of their name right now. Sorry. But they took the CG Gator and they're like, you know what? It's not a bad CG Gator. It's just some of the scenes, like they did a good job of it theoretically. But some of the elements obviously weren't completely fleshed out. And it's never going to beat Louis Teague's amazing classic starring Robert Forster, Alligator. The movie's that fucking huge. That party scene, he just shows up and murks everybody, man. They had such an awesome fucking gator for that movie to just chomp. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Like I said, one was CG werewolves. And so basically what I was saying was
bad CGI werewolf, since people really enjoyed bad CGI gator.
Is that he's found his new Roger Corman way by using AI. So he's using AI to create these posters. And so when he's telling you the ideas for these, there's this image and it's clearly like all AI based. And I don't know if that's the cover he's going with or this was just something like, I hope that's what it is. I hope that, you know, he realizes like, okay, well, I'm going to give you the poster that you're, but it's like, we all look at them and be like, oh yeah, we all know that's AI. Like it's too clean. Like nobody, and their fingers, they have like 12 fingers on that fucking thing. It's like, I like AI. As we recently found out last week, AI doesn't know how to spell. So I had used some stuff back in the day to do, you know, AI, and you're typing basically like what you want it to like show, you know, like lettering, you know, and you type that motherfucking thing. You would think you typed it in there. All it has to do is just
generate.
There, right? No. It, as one of my friends, Glenn, said, that fucking thing looked like a goddamn fucking spell from like from the Harry Potter universe. It's like, yeah, like pictures gratis, this. Like these aren't words. This is completely garbage bullshit. I didn't type any of this in there. What are you doing right now? But yeah, that's AI in a nutshell for you right there. Can't even fucking spell. And you know, one of the things I wanted to touch down on this show too is that there's a big pet peeve that I have in society right now where I don't know why people in general don't understand what's going on. So I'm going to give you a scenario of how the internet works. Basically. So right now, the biggest trend that I keep seeing is these people are, and that's the thing is, you're dumber than the people that you think are stupid. And I don't mean to call you guys out by that, but the trend is you're dumber, you're acting dumber than the person that you think is a retard or doing something wrong on these videos and things that they're doing online. They know what they're doing, because if you think about it, this is how the algorithm works on the internet. If you didn't know, it's all about traction. And currently right now we live in a society where bad is good, because your fucking sister goes on YouTube and she's got some perfect fucking cookie recipe fucking video. Fuck her video. That fucking shit is trash. I've seen that video a million times and people actually do it properly. But then you've got these people who are like, clearly like, I'm going to bust out this aluminum fucking pan. Still has the label on the fucking thing. I'm pouring pasta and all this fucking garbage fucking shit in there, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's in every single field of everything. I'm just paralleling to say food. But when you think that they didn't intentionally do it, like there's a hair in the food. Oh my God, there's going to be 1,000 fucking, there's a hair in the fucking food. Like clearly you think you're the only one that noticed it. And oh my God, I'm here to save the internet. I'm going to be Captain Tell You About It. Dun, 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 dun. All you're doing is exactly what they want you to do. You're feeding into the fucking negative aspect of the video. You're helping them. You're killing the algorithm. You're smacking that fucking like the bean of your girlfriend's fucking clitoris. You're like, blah, 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 blah. That's not how it works. If you hate the video and you think there's something fucking wrong with it, move away. But that's the problem is that you're way more focused on trying to be that person who's smarter than them. And you're telling them what they did wrong instead of finding somebody out there that you probably already even follow to fucking support. Find a way to be positive about that. Want to comment on things you want to post, like that you're passionate about. Why does it have to be that the only thing you want to do is check somebody. I want to check their fucking privilege. How dare they? You didn't have to eat the fucking food, dude. You didn't have to do whatever was in the video. Who cares? It didn't fucking affect your life one way or another. So what is the point? And I will find myself going to those comments. We all do. We see that video and we're like, oh, I bet you $100 they saw that. And they're all gonna, and it's all that. And it's like, I feel weird that there's a society now where people are so, like, everyone loves comedy. Everyone loves to laugh. Everyone wants to feel like that feeling of like, I'm funny and I can make jokes and I can be, irreverent or whatever. But now we're putting ourselves in a position of being like, you're so unfunny that all you have is using memes and other things people say to help with that aspect. So it's clear now why there's so many people stealing jokes for podcasts and stealing jokes for, stand up and all that, because it's just so much easier to not do the right thing. And I know this probably isn't something that a lot of people are going to gravitate with what I'm talking about, but I think there's a few people out there who are, and again, we're trying to make this podcast for us. I'm not going to fucking pander to any of you motherfuckers out there anymore. I tried that route. Not going to happen. This show, like I said, is not going to be just boring horror fucking talk. I want to talk about real things. I want to find other people out there that enjoy talking to us. Eventually we'll find a way to have it where we can do this live and you guys can comment and you guys can talk to us and we can get your feedback, and good or bad.
Tell us we suck.
Yeah, tell us we suck. Can't wait. I want 100 comments that this is the worst show I ever fucking seen, and I couldn't make it past 2 minutes because it sucks. Yeah, that's fine. I'll love it. I'm
here for it.
No, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep because you didn't like my podcast. That part. If you believe that, do it. Make me sad. Me and Gulia over here will drown in a river of our own tears.
Yeah.
But we are approaching the almost hour, and I didn't even think we would make it this far. We won't have anybody even listen to that part and be like, did you get to that? What? No. I didn't make it past 5 minutes of these assholes. They just want to talk about stupid movies that I'm going to eventually watch.
VHSs.
Yeah. Who's buying that out of format? And this is how we are. How many do you have? Because I have 5 VCRs on backup right now, just in case one of them goes out.
I have 4.
4?
Yeah.
Ooh, I got one more. One of them just went out recently too. One of them ate a tape and then fucking bounced out. But that's the weird thing though, is it's like a couple people started to make cassette tapes, but then they started to make new cassette players. There's brand new, amazing cassette players out there right now. And very few people are making cassette. I do have Mandy actually on cassette. I have the whole Mandy movie soundtrack on cassette, but they're still not making VCRs, but they're still making fucking tapes. So I guess the way I do it is I usually go to Salvation Army or some second rate fucking, because the ones they refurbish on Amazon, holy fucking shit, those are like $500-$600, but they are DVD VHS combos, but those are problematic too. I never liked that whole mixed media format. Just give me the one, give me the other. That's fine. But I hope you guys hated the show, because if you hated the show, then you're going to want to tell us how you hated the show. We do have an Instagram, which is obviously under the same name. We'll eventually start probably breaking some of these more highlightable moments and putting them on, I don't know, TikTok or whatever, my ball sack. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I am your host, HJ Valentine. I am joined by the amazing Julia Gulia, the mail girl. And hopefully I will get the goals to do this again. Thanks for now. We're out.
Bye.